We're back out on the bass buggy, and today we're talking about 5 techniques that you need for those difficult to catch early fall bass. Stick around, you don't want to miss this one. Welcome back to Lowbrow Fishing, and today we're talking about the fall transition. Early fall can be the hardest time of the year, bar none, to catch fish. Those fish are moving around the lake and they're going from their summer home, getting ready to start up for the winter feeding. However, in the meantime, it can make for some very difficult fishing. So, what can we do? How can we keep putting fish in the boat? Well, first and foremost, you're going to have to understand that these are probably going to be some pretty lean times. But that doesn't mean that we still can't catch them. And that doesn't mean that we can't catch bigs, because those opportunities are still there. Bear in mind, you're going to have to work for them, but that's okay. This is when you put your bass knowledge to the test. When you put your nose to the grindstone and you go out there and you're still catching fish. And I've got 5 techniques for you that are guaranteed to help you get that skunk off of the boat. And they're pretty basic, they're pretty simple, you already know what they are. Number 1, a drop shot. I like to fish a small Super Fluke Junior on a drop shot. I like to have it where that tag end to the weight is no more than 8 or 10 inches. I don't want it very long. I just want to keep that bait suspended off of the bottom. I can try to hold that bait in place and just give it a few wiggles and try to get that tail to flick around. I'm trying to make that bait look like an easy potential meal and enticing for any passing bass. And so far, especially this year, I've had quite a bit of success with it. It's something, if you have access to some deeper water, even from the bank, I suggest trying out a drop shot. Alright, I got me a little fluke tied on a drop shot. Kind of a crazy little drop shot, but I got a little, what is that, a Zoom Junior fluke, Smoking Shad Super Fluke Junior. It's kind of what I'm working with right now. I kind of wanted to keep it up off of the bottom a little bit, so I'm working a drop shot. I kind of want to go back this way to where the water's a bit deeper. Ooh, there we go. Ooh, that's nice. All right. Check that out. Let me, got this little spot. Oh, cut it out. Come here. Well, he may flop off in the water again. Yeah, he got out. He got away. Dadgummit. Oh well, it counts. I caught him. Little spot, but he came off of the hook. And he flopped his way free. Well, that made it a little bit easier for me, but still. That's kind of what we're looking for. You know, something a little bit better than that. But still, that's what we're running, that little fluke on a drop shot. Now the second thing, while I don't fish them that often, but I know that a lot of guys do, especially around this time of the year, and that's a Ned rig. For anglers that have fisheries that have harder bottoms, chunk rock, sand, or whatever, and don't have a lot of vegetation, a Ned rig is a viable choice. Again, I don't get to fish them very often, simply because of the amount of vegetation in my local lakes. When I'm on vacation to a different part of the country, it's nice to be able to break out my Ned rig gear and actually fish it. However, right now in this area, I'm not able to, especially with the water receding and the vegetation the thickest it will be all year. Now, the third thing that I can recommend is a weightless fluke. I'm fishing a weightless fluke, or preferably a Fluke Junior on a 1/0 EWG. I'm fishing it on 10-pound braid to a mono leader, and you can even go lighter as much as 6-pound, and I'm fishing it on a spinning combo. You need to have a little bit of patience when you're fishing it, but if you're willing to put in the effort, it can lead to some really good bites. I've been having quite a bit of luck on this presentation as of late. There we go. Ah, I spit it. Dadgummit. It wasn't nothing big, but it was still a nice. It was still a bite. Wasn't nothing big, but it was still a bite. Let me see if I can do that again. See if I can get that dude back in there. Let me see if I can't get that dude back in there and get him to bite it again. There we go. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a pretty good one right there, kids. Come on. Well, he's not huge. Ooh. Ooh. Right in the top of the mouth, just like you like to see. Little spot. She looks like one of those hybrids, but he's pretty fish. And this is kind of what we're doing. We're doing this finesse. You know, this is just that finesse fishing. He's a good little fish. Half pounder somewhere in there. Ooh, nice little splash, dude. Thank you. Let's see if we can't do that again. Let's see if there's anybody else in there. See if anybody else is home. Now for the fourth presentation, I like a good old stick bait on a Texas rig. For me, that is probably my all-time favorite presentation. As I've said before, I've probably caught more fish using that presentation than any other presentation that I've thrown combined. It just works, especially now. I'm using it weightless or with a smaller 1/8 ounce bullet weight. I'm throwing a 5-inch worm on an EWG 4-aught hook, and it works great for me. I'm fishing it around grass seams and edges, isolated pockets of grass and vegetation, and even around the odd pile of timber from time to time. It's the presentation I break out when I'm looking for a little bit bigger bite, and it works. A lot of times I can actually catch the biggest fish of the day, as I did today using a Texas rigged worm. Caught this dude on a Texas rigged worm. This is a largemouth. Beautiful. Caught it on that dark Texas rigged worm. Out here. Nice, gorgeous fish. You know, my GoPro keeps dying, but I'm out of battery juice, but there he is. About 1.5 pounds, good fish. We're going to go ahead and get a picture with him. Caught him on a Texas rigged stick bait. And of course, it's the best fish of the day that I caught. And of course, my GoPro battery was died, but we were fishing it just low and slow on that Texas rigged stick bait. Beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous fish. I wish I would be able to get that fight on video, but my GoPro battery had just died. So, but here he is, beautiful fish. And finally, the fifth presentation, and the one that most people are probably going to be familiar with, is a wacky rig. A 4 or 5-inch wacky rig stick bait is bound to generate bites, especially when those fish are extra finicky. We are got this sliced up old Zoom Magnum trick worm that we're using, and as it floats down, it's got that look to it. Those tendrils kind of open up. Those tendrils kind of open up, and there we go. Oh yeah, look at that. See how that is? That was a nice catch right there off of that. Hooked him good. That was with the wacky rig. You know, that's number 3 today that we've caught like that. He's a beautiful bass. Gorgeous, gorgeous bass. That's number 3 we've caught today, fishing that technique. This time of year, just getting those bites is a win. Bringing them to the boat, that's an even extra special win. And being able to still land those big ones, well, now you're really doing something right. And it can be done. You just have to slow down and use more patience and more finesse presentations. And I guarantee you, you'll be landing those bass before long and without missing a beat. So until the wintertime gets here and those bass really start feeding up, we just have to muscle through this. And those are 5 ways you can do it and still be successful. So there you go. 5 ways, 5 presentations that you can use to still put fish in the boat in the early fall. It doesn't have to be a slog. You can still generate bites and you can still generate nice fish. It may be a little bit harder work, but it can be done. With a little bit of patience and some perseverance, you'll still be landing those big ones. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.